Hello, welcome back. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. We'll be covering Chapter 6. This course is Marketing 105, Sports Marketing, offered by Harper College. We'll be talking Chapter 6, Segmentation, Targeting and Position. Some of you who have already had regular marketing or will be taking regular marketing, this will be a refresher. And those of you who haven't had any marketing class, this will be something new. But when you remember, it's still marketing. It's only now that we're focusing more in on the sports arena. I just want to throw in one thing while I'm here. Sorry. One of the things when you're looking at sports marketing, so I have to just kind of go back and get the flyer. I have a flyer here, $25 a month, no contract, and basically this is for Renegade Fitness at Wakanda. I'm not pushing Wakanda. I'm just going to say some of the deals that you'll be working for, they may not necessarily be completely like I'm working for the Cubs, I'm working for the Blackhawks, I'm doing that. You're going to be doing marketing, something like this, for a company. In this case, it's a new fitness organization that wants to bring in new clientele. So I've got this, and then how do they get them in when we talk about the promotion and everything else? Free sign up. Half off on personal training. And so it has a lot, you see, it has everything else in here. And this is kind of good, for lack of better words. Do you see how you're coming up with ideas and your positioning? So this is kind of nice. How are we going to be segmenting and targeting and positioning our product in already a saturated area for fitness clubs, for lack of better words? Okay, I just got to put this away 1 second because I've got other classes that I'm doing, and then I'll use that. You see how when you learn, before I even get into that, how do you get ideas? You look at what's out there. If you're going to be going into marketing or sports marketing, what's out there? What could I use? Oh, that's how they did it. If you notice, it wasn't real inexpensive ad. Shiny paper, costs a little bit more, but it gives you that quality. You figure if somebody could afford this, the perception. Remember, marketing is always the perception. All right, let's go back into our thing. Now we're going to be talking about segmenting and targeting. And remember, read the book. Look at print out my concept maps, follow my recordings. I've also in Blackboard, later on I'll talk about it, the overview, that I've got some of the links in there. And let's go forward. So what are we going to be talking about today? Today, let's go. Remember, I've got this, and I think I got it large enough where you could see. I always get some comments. People say, I can't see everything, Dr. George. I got glasses right in front of it I could see. Let's see, 150, that's what it was. Let's see if 200 will make it too large. Remember, because I'm looking at I want to make it easy for you. And if you ever notice, I got my stuff here, so you don't have to worry where I come in. Okay, what's the importance of market selection? Bottom line cost. Why saturate? Remember when you talk about mass marketing, I'm just basically spilling it out there, you know what I mean? Everywhere, like a water sprinkler. It's everything. It doesn't make a difference. And so I get something wet, maybe not as intense as I want, but I get it wet. But now what's going to happen? But that's a lot of wasted energy, a lot of wasted, when you first start off, because you're not sure. Now you're going into a very fine niche. This business that I just showed you is only open in the Wakanda area. How far are individuals going to drive to a health club? Maybe if they're passing by, because there's Route 12. I live up in unincorporated Yellow Township. I'm between Harper College and College of Lake County. So that's why basically I teach both. It works out well. If I would have to sign up for a health club, since I'm right in between Lake Zurich and Wakanda, that's good enough drive. The distance about the same. But I don't want to drive all the way to Barrington. And they've got real nice ones out there. That's a long drive. That means I get stressed out and everything, and I got to drive back. So remember, certain areas, it's going to be a niche. And who am I going to position? Are you going to position my age? Remember, Barrington has some that is tied in with the hospital, Good Shepherd Hospital, for people that maybe want to, they have some kind of physical they fell and got hurt and they need some kind of physical therapy. So they're set up. They got the younger people, they got the old, the more mature individuals or baby boomers going through there. So how do I niche? How do I find that niche just for my area? So that's where we start going the importance of market selection. You compare various bases for market segments, understand the target market. Remember, and this is basically from your readings. I just follow requirement for a successful target market. I have this area now. I just want to get this little niche or geographic, what we'll be talking about, and then I'm going to find out about the psychological and socioeconomic for that region. All right, so what will they be willing to pay for? Describe the positioning, importance of market selection, and construct a perpetual sports map. Okay, so this is everything. This is a quick overview for the chapter. You've already done that. Remember, I'm not going to go into much detail. You already read it. This is a summarization, something for you to focus on, something for me to throw in a few more comments that you might have missed when you're utilizing the book or you're preparing to take the tests or the quiz. Okay, now segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Okay, what's market segmentation? Now here I've got a link, and then look, I always provide you a link. So if I look at the daily market segment, let's see how it works. I'll put it in here. I'm trying to keep it down. All right, so it gives you some information. Look at the links, and I created the links in Blackboard. The author did a nice job providing a lot of links with the updated book. Segmentation, identifying groups and consumers based on common needs. Well, we got to lose some weight. Now, some are going to lose some weight. Some want to meet some individuals at the market. Some just want to tone up their body. Others are like myself that really need a lot of personal training. So I target different things at different age groups because there's different social aspect to it. Okay, now targeting. Next thing, choosing the segment that will allow an organization most effectively that will effectively attain its marketing goals. Remember, I got competition. There's a lot of other places out here. How do I bring them in? I think between in Lake Zurich, there's LA Fitness, and wherever you're at, you see just competitors. But now but I don't want all the larger things. I may want something smaller, more cost conscious. What am I looking for? Now, when you're going to do positioning, and then you'll fix your sports entity in the minds of a consumer target market. Where are you in? I'm not in LA Fitness. I'm not just selling one. It's just the ones that are out here because there's also one in Libertyville. That's Libertyville Sports Complex. Large. You name it, they have it. Large. But it costs you more of a membership. It's like my cable TV. You know, I mentioned before. Do I want all of it or just certain aspects of it? That's why Netflix and some of the other streaming are a real threat to cable TV. I'm just, but your position, you're not getting everything. You're getting a certain market. That's all I'm looking for. I'm looking for equipment. I'm looking for basic equipment and availability and, maybe some personal training. I don't want the full course, for lack of a better word. And some people want it all, but they're willing to pay for that because they're not only they're not only spectators, they're participants that we've talked about the last few chapters. Okay, so that takes care of our marketing. Now the next thing is a need for marketing. And this one is just a link for Sports Australia, a club link. Look into Blackboard. I've got the link in there where it says chapter links. I have one from the students that when you're doing the next homework assignment, I put in there, and you also have the chapter links that's in the book. If some people, oh man, it's too long of a link. I already created it in Blackboard, but the author provides the links for you. Okay, now sports fans are not alike. Okay, remember if you notice my concept maps, they may not be full sentences because I want you to understand the concept. It's easier to study. It's easier to retain. Okay, different factors impact people's preferences. Factors used based to segment market. For marketing purposes, more effective. Efficient to break down a large market. That's what I'm doing. I got this large area, and I'm going out there. Now I only know certain people are coming in, so I target on those areas that are underserved. Remember, that's how President Trump basically won the election. He hit areas that the other candidate did not want to think, we got the majority, the underserved, the forgotten. In this case, look, I'm taking what you've seen happen in real life and how it brought in something. Now think of it as I'm a business. What area? I got LA Fitness. They're serving a certain demographic, certain class of individuals. What area is underserved? Maybe they can't afford that. Maybe they don't want all those bundled activities. I just want to go on a treadmill a little bit, do a little workout. Very light impact. There is, I look at it higher for a reduced cost. satisfies my needs. You remember the 4 P's? Location is one of them, place for lack of better words, and it's closer, and the availability of time, it's not too crowded. That's what I'm looking for. Okay? All right, now, so we've got that. So remember, we're going to go through here. And so I'm just trying to emphasize more what you've already read, what you've already looked at, the homework assignment, utilizing the integrated software. So we're all right. So now, when I'm looking at demographic basically is looking at certain geographic areas, certain, I have a slide in there. Oh yeah, here. I missed it. Okay, demographic segments. You're looking at age. Okay, so what are the age? Who's more likely to watch the X Games? Okay? Certain age group. You're looking at gender. These are real easy. And then you could get that from the U.S. Census and other things, secondary data, remember? And then I get the secondary data if I'm trying to target more women. And the only reason I bring women is because now it's, at this time, it's March when I'm doing this recording, and it's the International Women's, what do you call it, awareness, okay? And then if you look at McDonald's, and I'm just throwing that in, you know, I didn't put a link on there. McDonald's on their website, they got the McDonald's, the arch that goes up like this. They got it upside down, so it looks like a W for a woman. And, you know, I mean, there's one McDonald's, one of their larger McDonald's was able to flip the arch around upside down. That catches your attention. That gave me public PR. When I look at that, my goodness, if I'm a woman, hey, maybe I'll go get a McDonald's. They think about me. Do you see what I'm talking about? When you're looking at marketing or sports marketing, you're looking at what's going on, and could I jump on the bandwagon? That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to instill in you. You're going to be, remember, I'm not looking just not only the definition, the concepts. I want you to be able to take that and able to implement this, okay? So gender, who you're watching, who watches gymnastics, and who's more likely to watch boxing, even though there's women boxing, you know, talk about, is it more a man's sport, is it more a woman's sport, or is it neutral? And that's something you're going to find out later on in one of your homework assignments. And then you look at ethnic backgrounds, okay? Who's more likely to watch soccer? And you're going to say, well, it's a European or the... No, soccer basically is a football. Outside the U.S., it's called football. You know, because you kick it with your foot. You know, talk about. Here in the U.S., football has a different meaning because it's regular football, National Football League, NFL. But what ethnicity is more likely to watch soccer? Do not forget, my grandson, my kids, when they were growing up, because it's still an active sport, but you don't need all the equipment. It's still, you know, if I think it's kind of more of it's very active. You could get everything going. Kids, younger people coming into from grade school to high school are already playing soccer. That's one of the activities. You just get a ball, get them on the field, give them some rules, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's more to it. Don't look at me. I'm older, so soccer was, okay, soccer. I got to enjoy it because my kids had to go to it and had to watch a soccer game, so I look at the rules, all right? But what's happening, they're already being indoctrinated to enjoy soccer, and it's at all levels, even in the cities. Well, they're mostly basketball and baseball, yeah, but soccer is another field. You know what I mean? Soccer is something everyone could play, like the basketball. You can make a basketball hoop, and you could play it. You don't need to have any kind of equipment, anything else, just a ball. Soccer, you could do the same thing. You have an open field, you could play soccer. So you see more and more. A lot of people are going to say more Europeans. You got a lot of people from Middle East, Asia, Africa. They all play soccer, right? So that's something coming in there. So now you're looking, okay, maybe soccer, who's more likely? It depends on the group you're trying to target. Okay, and then the family life cycle. Remember, I was a football player. My kid's going to be a football player, but he or she is getting used to soccer in high school, and the peers have a bigger influence at a certain developing age than the parent may have. Because, you know, I'm all wrapped up. Shut up, be quiet. I'm not saying I'm like that. Please, are you okay? I'm just throwing this in to bring emphasis to class. And here's what they had. Here's let me just bring this up. And you had that in the book, you know, NFL age. And it was kind of nice at the breakdown. Where the heck, you know, NASCAR. NASCAR's more down south because you don't have too many car races up here. Did they even have soccer? Oh, here. Major League Soccer. Okay, are we good? So look at the book. The book had it. I'm not trying to do anything. Okay, we're done there. Now, so now I get the demographic. It just tells me the age and everything else. I could get that from U.S. Census. And then I'm looking at the high schools or the schools around there. Do they have soccer teams? Are they supporting it? Harper College has a soccer team. College Lake County has a soccer team. Most of the colleges have it because that's what they're coming out of high school. They're coming in there and they're going to college and that. So soccer may be replacing what we call traditional football, since you have people coming from internationally. If I could just get that star, an American star, grown up and was actually good. Same thing what brought golf. A lot of African Americans play golf, but what brought more African Americans into golf is because of Tiger Woods. Okay, all right. First American, African American, not first, other play, but started making it up there and was very good at that. So it brought that whole generation in there. And now what we need something to bring the soccer in. And trust me, once it clicks on, and even if you're not a soccer fan, but that's what your client is selling, you better start learning about soccer. Okay, now socioeconomic. So that's the demographic. Different social classes, all right. Perceived image of the sports, lacrosse, polo, golf. I didn't play polo. Golf is all right. I'm not the best. I don't have to worry about that. Tennis, very exercise. Racquetball, you never see. That's really a sport, but that's all skill set. Now lacrosse. My son signed up for lacrosse. I go, what the heck is lacrosse? It's kind of like a soccer kind of ball, and we have look. Don't laugh at me. Remember, a lot of you are in one sport, and now these are new sports coming in there, and now I got to represent. So I'll find some information on it. All right. So now here's a thing on sports. Business Daily, a nice link on there. 5 segments of sports, business daily link, and then I don't know why I did that. I think this basically should go like here. Remember, I'm live, and then this one ties into here. Okay, this is the way I had to do it. Oops, wrong one. Remember, those who've had me before, I don't record. I'm not reading off any kind of script. Okay, segments of fan chart, and this was one I tied up, and this one I think came out of here. I just linked it. So I'm looking at different, and this ties into what do we call in here? Into our socioeconomic. I got my Fitness Edge, my participants. I got my Crumbers. I've got my alumni. I've got my super jocks and my receptive and limited individuals. And it depends on age on that. So these are 5 segments that they broke down into. We should be, let me see real quickly here. Okay, I'm back. My office is basically a section where I live at, and so my grandson came in to clean his desk. So I could put it on pause. Hopefully you didn't even notice the little glitch. Okay, so now basis for other segments. Okay, so now I'm looking at other segments. It's psychographic segmentation, geographic segmentation, behavioral segmentation, benefits of segmentation, geodemographics. Man, these are some big words. What I mean? Who's watching the winter of Sports Olympics? And basically, again, your book had a good chart. They're looking at different ages, how much. So, and here's where the importance is. If I want to advertise an ad, and these are the groups that I want to target or niche, I should be able to put, for lack of better words, my ads there, because I got a higher probability that they're already interested in the sports, they're interested in the Olympics, and they're going to go on. The last Olympics here, I think when they had it in North Korea, look at the numbers, really poor showing. Remember, I keep on emphasizing this. Don't get mad at me. Don't say whatever. You do not put politics within sports or any kind of marketing unless I'm doing for the Republican Party or marketing for the Democratic Party. Different issue. Then I mean, I don't put that in there. You could have one of the things, but not during the sport or any kind of entertainment. And the same thing with the Oscars. Down, the lowest down. You cannot remember people like. Even though you may think that's right, I keep on emphasis for marketing. If you have customers say, "What should we do?" and you're giving them advice, keep politics out, because no matter if you take one side, you're going to alienate the other side. I'm a business owner. I want everybody to buy my product. I don't care what your ideology is. I don't care what your position is. You're coming here to this entertainment to escape reality. Right? If I wanted anything else, I'll go to those meetings. I'll go to, remember, outside. Remember, the sport itself should be I think it just got kind of a little bit muddy the last 4 or 5 years. I know a lot of people didn't like our current administration, whatever. But hey, it's over with. Move on. Let's have some fun now. Let's relax. Let's get out of it. There's so much stress in the world. We should relax, and that's what you have to start focusing. That's the thing I tell my client. Most business owners, small and large, not all. Sometimes they're kind of pressured in there, but most business owners, do they know? Look, in Chicago, they all say they're Democrats. They don't do anything against the Republicans, even though it's fairly more Democratic. They stay out of politics, right? You stay out of politics. You have to, and because you're basically serving both sides. And if you look at politicians, just from a quick side for businesses, we give to both parties. I give to the Republicans, I give to the Democrats, I give to the Social Party, I give to the I don't know if there's a Communist Party, but if there is, I would give to all, just in case somebody wants, hey, I did support you. Are we good, class? Come on. Remember, I'm not trying to be focusing on one thing. I want to make sure when you're out there trying to sell your product to the clientele, you have to keep that neutrality. And that's what I want to bring into this class, because a lot of you are going to be consultants or you're going to be in marketing. I mean, I'm different. If you're marketing for a candidate and everything else, there's big money spent in marketing also for whatever candidate. You know what I'm talking about? That's different. But when I'm doing for the sports and bringing someone else, I always advise them, keep the politics out of there. Like I said, you got some sports bars. We're in Chicago, around Wisconsin. I've got the Packers, and because I live right close to the border, not that close, but fairly close, northern Lake County. So do I go into class, hey, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I mean, half of my students are Packer fan. I don't want to alien. What fan are you? Whoever's going to win the Super Bowl, I'm behind them. I mean, if it's Chicago, I'm happy because I'm here. I grew up in the city. If it's the Packers, well, I'll never vote for. But hey, I'd rather go for the Packers because they're my next alternate. They're just still neighbors. Do you see what I mean? So you have it. A lot of sports bar will have the Packers and the you got to be careful at different times. Okay, do you see where I'm trying to bring that in there? You don't want to alienate there. You want to come in there and have a good time. You want to meet with friends and to escape reality. That's what we're in entertainment business. That's what marketing does. How do I bring them in? Unless I'm specifically marketing for a certain what do you call it, company. All right? Okay, so now psychographic. I don't want to go on a bandwagon, but I have to do this because remember, part of the whole thing is you're going to come out there, and if you have a certain bias for one team over the other, it'll show when you're trying to sell the other team. What if you're working for the other team now? Well, hey, what's the difference? You know what I'm talking about? I try not to show my bias. I try to do the neutral. You try to convince my client, don't show any bias for one or the other because you're alienating too large of a population. You don't like what's going on there, and you say, hey, you should boycott this thing. And, you go by because they have a louder voice. I'm going, hey, I'm a business owner. I may do one thing over here, but I've lost a good chunk of my other. Even if it's 30%, 30% is hard to make up. And people remember, right? All right, so psychographic. I'm off my bandwagon. All right. You remember, I'm not taking any sides, class. Understand what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to start thinking, focusing on what you're doing. Mine is to bring customers into my establishment. Okay. Psychographic. Demographics allows us to describe what. Who buys it? That's all I'm looking at a cycle. Who buys it? Demographic. I got so many women. I got so many kids in that age group are buying my product or looking at my or utilize my services. Also, now psychographic goes on the next things to understand why they buy. Isn't that the hard thing? And that's why we're trying to figure out with the new generation Z. They're more technical, but they're coming to become more conservative. That's what the studies are going. So how do I present stuff that's not way out there because they're more in a conservative frame of mind. And what's conservative now may not be what you would consider conservative because parties changes. Remember the message changes depending on the culture and what's going on at that time. So why did he buy? I'm trying to figure out how. And that's what if you're looking at Amazon, I buy this and it says someone similar who brought this product brought this. Now, do they have the algorithm that basically says baby boomers or my age bought this product or a younger person brought this product? Just because I bought a product doesn't mean you may have a different rationale why you brought it in a different age group or a different generation, for lack of better words, than what I would buy in my generation. Okay, and then the AOI dimension, and that basically just statement describing activities, interests, and opinions. All right, and then here there's another thing, and so they have the let me see if I can make this a little larger. And it's in your book anyway, so I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to go over half an hour. Okay, look at it. It was good information. Now I'm looking at the behavioral. What's the behavioral? How much they purchase, how often they purchase, and how loyal are they to the product. Remember, I talked to Hispanics. Remember, I'm not stereotyping, just generalizing. And if you know people who are, my daughter-in-law is Mexican, and I know the father-in-law is very brand loyal. My daughter-in-law, second generation, born here. She knows Spanish, but she's more Americanized. She has no loyalty. She's looking at the best price. She may buy more Spanish type of food from the Mexican food store because it's more authentic. She's still used to that authentic, where other people may not. You know what I mean? So you're looking at how loyal they are, what group. Or are they just buying on price? Are they buying, they're loyal to me because it's the trendy thing to do? Are they loyal to me because I've got a better guarantee, or I got better pricing? Or they're only loyal to me for whatever reason? Everyone has one, everyone has an Apple, so let's be loyal. And I was real surprised. Like I said, the instructor actually has a BlackBerry. I thought they were gone in very few, but he does have a BlackBerry. Now remember, BlackBerry, the thing that made BlackBerry strong, not with the interface and everything else, it was because of the encryption. If I send anything from my BlackBerry, only to one site that I send it out here locally, I could be able to find out who did it. And everything else is encrypted so no one else knows. Apple, Samsung, all of them, you're out there not only, all my information is shared here in the U.S. Wrong. Your information goes to the global, when I say global, internationally, because they're international companies, so people from other countries that are selling also have what they call data mining, also has information. Remember, when you click on that app for free, I'm not trying to do one way, I'm not teaching consumerism, but you have to understand, if a customer says, hey, what about this app? Is it going to be out there? What if they say, we don't want you to share it outside the U.S.? We don't want you to share it globally. You all have to make sure that your application, everything else, satisfy that customer. It's only one or two. Get out of here. But if a majority of people start asking that, you're going to have a way for them to opt out. Okay, remember, I'm trying to bring what we covered in the other chapters, environmental forces, opportunities and threats that are forces that I have to abide with, but they're also forces because my behavioral, my purchasing power, the group I'm trying to target to buy my product has a different way of looking at things and wants a little more protection. I just had to be aware of it and see, does it make sense? Should I do it, offer it, or is it just a small group that's not going to really affect my penetration of a larger group of audience to buy my products? But behaviorally, most don't care. Not now. Generation Z, we don't know how much they are conservative. They may want to be more, I just want to be left alone. I want to be invisible. Just buy it, don't tell me. You know what I mean? And look, when you have everything else in a smartphone, when I'm typing in a word, it already knows what I think the next word is because they already have that information, how I type, how I week. Same thing now, I'm using a recording system, but the recording system is also looking at my profile, which words. So if I have to do any kind of dictating or anything else, using like Dragon, for lack of a better word, I don't have to type all that. It basically already knows my pattern, the words I utilize, how I pronounce it, and it could make assumptions going forward. This is what I think is scary, isn't it? Welcome to the 21st century. Technology is our friend, but also make sure that you know how to keep it in check. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, now benefits. Appeal of a product or service to a group of customers. Benefit segments describe how customers purchase a product, where they purchase, how they purchase, what they look for, and I make sure my ads are at appropriate time, or my promotion, or what problem a product serves for a consumer, underlying factor in all types. Marketing segmentation is to satisfy a need. There's a need that has been overlooked. Remember, I want the whole market, but there's so many competitors out there. I get my little niche. Once I get that niche, maybe I think it's small because you don't want anything touching it, but I get my foot in there, and now I establish a relationship with them. So when the other ones want to come in, like if you look at the mainstream media right now, most people, Generation Z, Generation Y, Generation M, for lack of better words, are basically, they get their news through the social platform, through the internet. They don't watch the TV. They get it through Netflix. They get it on small clips of advertising. They're already lost the bandwagon. For them to come in, this segment of group already has their preferences. It's hard to penetrate that. And I'm looking at research because a lot of people say, "Hey, should I advertise on, whatever it's CNN, Fox, or some of the cable?" I say, "Hey, they tell you you got the for lack of better words, you have a certain age group for looking at it, maybe baby boomer, maybe Generation Y a little bit, but the other generations, they don't watch the TV, they don't want it, they stream it, they all go through Netflix or some of the other streaming, even Amazon got a streaming on there. Why spend your money? You're not unless you're targeting that group, yes, but otherwise." Why spend my money? Come on, remember, I'm not trying to push one over. So that's the one media is going out and new media is overtaking it. Okay? Remember, I'm trying to get you to be critical thinkers. How much have we got here? Okay, targeted marketing. So evaluating various target segments, requirements for a successful target. You're looking at the size, a number, or purchasing power. If it's a real small segment, and that could be good. Well, if I'm looking at selling fur coats, anyone repeat it? Don't be mad at me. I'm just using an example, or jewelry, or diamonds, or something. That's a very small market, but my prices are higher. Those are people looking for me for unsought goods. They're already going to spend it because that's what they want. Okay, are they reachable? And how do I reach them? All right? Accessibility to the group. Remember just with the polling, with the last thing the polling's wrong, they're all doing by phone. They don't answer the phone. You've got the name, it's a research company, blah, So how do they do a polling? They do it through surveys. How do you do surveys for Generation Z, Y, and M? What do? You're basic as, hey, you can win an iPhone, you can win a game, you can win a trip someplace that they want to go. Spring break's coming along here. Hey, you want to go to Cancun? I don't even think that's the place you're going, but whatever. Tell me, you find out what that market wants, and that's what I do, fill out the survey. They're at it because they want to do it. Come on. Or you give them a free app or something. A free app's basically tracking them. Now, the whole thing is measurable. If I'm looking at the market, identify accessibility, sustain the unique and durable. Could I measure that my ads am I actually connecting to them and bringing in? You had a thing when you look at Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, if I look at Mountain Dew, I teach a regular marketing class. Mountain Dew is basically targeted down for somebody to do my own thing, But their market's changing. How did they do? They had, if you look at the store and look at Mountain Dew, you'll have different drinks. They basically interacted with their core Mountain Dew drinkers, and then became Dew Democracy, not democracy, Dew Democracy, Mountain Dew, and they had a whole campaign on that. Take me for marketing, regular traditional marketing, and we'll discuss that. Okay, and the behavioral variation within that target market. Remember, all Generation Zs aren't conservative. All Generation Zs aren't watching baseball, basketball, or playing soccer, or they're all gamers. So now I've got kind of their behavior and what benefits they're looking at, and then I start niching and breaking off the niche into smaller pieces. Okay? All right, so now let's see what we have in here. So marketable. Okay, I just had that. Target marketing. We're out of there. Okay. Positioning. Find a way to fix your product, right, in the minds of the consumer. And if you look at position, is it high end, low end? Is it more creative? Is it more risque? Remember when I tell people YouTube. I'm on YouTube, but now I got to start looking at other sites that are out there because YouTube's beginning to be too conservative, too restrictive. Not for me. I like it. No cussing, no swearing. A little bit here, but the younger generation, hey, I want to be a little more risque. I want to be out here. YouTube's out of the thing. It's for older people. It's already done its time path. Too risque. Same thing with Facebook and everything. Too risque. So there are other sites out there. I'm not pushing one of you got Gab. And people say, well, you Gab is very risque. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God. It's like a YouTube, but what I posted on it, no. I've got a site. I go on there because I'm an individual contributor. I just have it in there, so I have my name and everything else there. And I look at it. Right now it's too risque for my clientele's, if I'm doing any kind of consulting or anything else, too risque. But who knows what's going to happen? But if I'm going to have to say I want to hit a certain generation that thinks YouTube is already old school and is on this decline, and all platforms go up and decline. It's a marketing cycle. It's a business cycle. What do? I'm already prepared. I'm already looking at it, see how they're advertising. I've been out, really risque. I'm not trying to, not all, but I mean, it's still like the wild, wild west. The same thing like YouTube was at the beginning. But I'm already beginning to understand, see what customers are there, see when they start developing and maturing in that platform, and how do I move it forward. And then I'm already in there, and it's okay. Now, if this is the group I want to get, I have to start telling it. Remember, you're a consultant, you're a marketing. You have to understand the different platforms. Whether you agree with them or not, you're in there to looking at it because it's still customer based. As long as you got a MasterCard, Visa, I love you. All right? Okay? All right, now perpetual mapping, basically perpetual mapping, and here's the graph. It's just basically how your book had lines in here, and it's looking at the extremes, low price, high price, and conservatives. All right, and 6 dimensions are attributes of sports. Again, strength, speed. I'm not going to go. All right, dimension of attribute, strength, speed, endurance versus methods, precise movement, athletes only as participants versus athletes plus recreation participants, skill, emphasis, and impact. It's all in your book. Skill development and practices, a younger participant in sports versus participant ages of younger to older, all right, less masculine or versus more masculine. All right? Okay, whew. We covered a lot here. Hopefully I'm under half an hour, but remember, I like to put the touch, and for those of you who, most of you already, in my class, you already know how I'm going. I should expand. But some of you who you just happen to look at YouTube and you find me, I don't read off a script. Sign up for a course at Harper that has this class. You get the book, you get the concept maps, you get the videos, you get everything else. This is a quick overview. If you've seen it, enjoy it, have fun with it. But sign up at your local, most community colleges do have a sports marketing class, whether it's fully online or face-to-face. I teach both. So again, enjoyed having you. Make sure, hopefully you learned something, and good luck on the quiz. I'll see you next week when I do Chapter 7. Okay, let's see where we're at. 36 minutes. We're doing pretty good. I'm trying to keep it under half an hour. Hey, look, I usually would have it for an hour because I'd be a little more detail, and that's a little bit long. I mean, half an hour is more enough as a quick summarization, and when you're ready to take the test, you could look at mine. You already read it, looked at it, used the concept maps, looked at the PowerPoints, wrote everything else on, and this is just a quick review, blah, 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 and it just adds a little more, another census to you. You see me, you hear me, okay? Have a nice day. Bye.